YouTube, it's Erin, and I am the Handbag Housewife, and I'm back again with another video. Today's video, I'm going to talk about things I bought while I was on vacation in Colorado, and also show you some of the beautiful scenery I got to experience while I was there. We got there, I think it was on August 3rd, it may have been the 4th. It was a Saturday, and there is an arts festival in Crested Butte, Colorado on the first weekend in August every year, and it is incredible. And I'm gonna put some footage of that arts festival in as I talk and kind of intersperse it, because I want you to see all of the cool things, or not all of the cool things, some of the cool things that you can find when you're there. And I also want to show you what I picked up while I was there. The first item I picked up was by an artist named Kevin O'Grady. And this is his business card in case you want to go check him out. For any of these artists that have a website, I will link it down below. And I just wanted to show this to you because it is a piece of jewelry that I never thought I would have. It costs $90 and it is a glass bracelet. And you say, oh my, why would you buy a glass bracelet? Well, the reason is because it's actually made of Pyrex. And if you're not familiar with Pyrex glass, it is very resilient. I have some plates made of Pyrex and you can drop them on a wood floor and they don't shatter. I don't think a single one of them is chipped. So I thought it was really cool that he makes bracelets out of Pyrex. And I have worn this a couple times. It's very comfortable. It's easy to slide on over my wrist and it stays put. I do like wearing it on this wrist slightly better because it is a little bit looser, but it's so easy to put on and off, and I think it's lovely. And he uses real gold in there when he's blowing the glass to get the reflection of the metal like you see as I'm moving it. So that is the first thing I picked up while on vacation. The next thing I picked up was by an artist called Paul Counts Art Glass, and he does have a website where you can buy his art glass. He does some really cool teapots. And when I saw these, I thought, oh my gosh, those are so cool. They will be really neat for my makeup on the counter in my bathroom. And so I actually picked up 3. This is the tallest and it's the first one I got. And then the next day I went down and bought 2 more because I wanted different heights for different brushes. And I think these are just so cool. And at the arts festival, he had them for $45. And you can pick these up for $65 each on his website. If you happen to go to an arts festival where he is at, they are $45. The next piece I picked up from the arts festival was by Nicole Pal Ceramics, and she did a process or a technique called soda firing, and it creates a really cool, almost metallic effect. So I picked up a coffee mug, and I think this was maybe $40 as well, but I felt like these little dots, they almost look like opalescent to me, and I thought it was so pretty. I'm actually using it right now. I can't remember what exactly she described it as, but she gave me a little card and it says these clay pieces are made individually on a potter's wheel and then fired in a soda kiln, where soda ash is mixed with boiling water and introduced into the kiln with a garden sprayer. The soda mix vaporizes in the intense heat and fuses with the clay, creating a unique glazed surface. And she does have a website. It is NicolePalCeramics.com. One of my sons picked up a really cool leather cowboy hat, and if I can find a picture of it, I'll put it in, but he's asleep right now, so I don't want to go disturb him. The other son picked up a diorama by an artist called Scott Hildebrandt, and here is his card. He does the coolest dioramas I have ever seen. He puts them in old clocks and glass faces and all sorts of things that I have never seen before. And my son got one, and actually it was originally a chess timer. And when you switch it on, it lights everything up. You've got flickering fire, you've got animals. On each side there is someone staying in a little camper. I don't know if you can see that. And in the background, you've got a sky and a moon. And I just think this is the coolest thing ever. I have to say that this booth was my favorite out of all of them. It was just so neat. And I'll put some footage of the booth in right now. Yeah. These are these little dioramas, and the guy that does these has an exhibit in a museum here in Colorado.
I'm doing the St. Louis Arts Festival here in the next month.
Oh, that's like good.
They're every bit as cool as some of the bigger ones.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And it really gives options for someone who's looking to...
I do, yeah. It's a good price point to kind of get in, and they're all refurbished. Old clocks, radios, cameras, and TVs. So
that's
I repurpose these
so
old things.
neat.
Give them a second life.
And what is your name?
My first name is Scott, last name Hildebrandt. My alias is Mr. Christmas.
So those are some of the things we picked up at the Arts Festival. I'm going to put some footage in now regarding some of the other booths we saw that kind of caught my eye, struck my fancy, so that you can enjoy a little bit of scenery in Crested Butte.
So this is
Eric Moritz.
Yeah.
And he does these gorgeous opals inside of glass spheres. They're like a pocket galaxy, and they are amazing. So when you move them around, it looks like the opals are moving, and they're like little galaxies, which is so cool. I love this one too. My eyes keep getting drawn to other ones. So neat. We went on a hike to an absolutely beautiful waterfall, and the name of the waterfall escapes me right at this moment. The drop-offs were crazy. I mean, it was a little bit terrifying to get pictures taken next to them because the four of us just barely fit in the space by the drop-off to get the waterfall and us in the photograph, but the view was definitely worth it. We also took the chairlift up to the top of Mount Crested Butte and walked around a little bit while we were up there and saw some of the signs for the ski slopes. And they were up really high in some cases because the snow wasn't there while we were there. And it was crazy to see how much snow there really is or really will be whenever the ski season starts up at the top of the mountain. While I was in Crested Butte, I went up to Mount Crested Butte's little shopping area, and there were a couple of stores, Christy Sports and then Butte and Company, that had some clothes that I just fell in love with. At Christy Sports, they had a couple of these really nice tank tops, and I know there's nothing exciting about this, but they fit really well, and the brand on both of the pieces that I picked up two of these tank tops, is Indiva. And I think they're meant to like hike and do activities in. I also got it in a minty green that's in the wash. But this top is pretty fitted, and I think it's gonna be awesome under cardigans. From this brand, both of the things I got, the two tanks and then this, which would be three things, but the tanks are the same, I got mediums in, and I really think that this is a beautiful color, and it's gonna look awesome with my lilac mini Alexa. I mean, bam, check that out. Is that not a match made in heaven? I had this bag in mind when I saw this particular shirt. The brand they had at Butte and Company that I fell in love with, and I'll link the website down below, is Dylan. So I've seen Dylan before at some of my local boutiques, and it seems to fit well and to be made really well. And I picked up a whole slew of pieces. They also had True Grit on sale. And all of the pieces that were at this store were sample pieces. So in the True Grit brand, everything they had was large, which actually fit all three of my boys, hubby and the kids. And then in the women's, all they had was smalls or size 6. And so most of that fit me. And I picked up multiple tops that you're gonna see in videos coming up. But for now, I'm just gonna kind of flash them in front of you so you can see some of the different designs they have. I thought they were really cute. I love this kind of material. I've picked up several things in this type of material from Uray, but this dress, and it's not gonna do it justice at all. It is really cute on. These tanks, they are true staples and they were so comfy. You're gonna see some of them in my vacation photos that I show you. This is the softest flannel that I have ever worn. It is amazing. And I'm just showing you this brand because I have never bought this much of it, but they had 60% off everything. These look horribly wrinkled, but they're like a linen short. And when I wore them, they really didn't wrinkle like linen does. They've just come straight out of the wash. Once I steam them, they'll actually stay looking pretty nice. Like this pair here, this is straight out of the wash. And I wore these a couple different times and they didn't stretch out. They didn't get baggy or weird looking. And so I am loving this brand. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. The last two pieces are this top, which works really well for my skin tone, I think. And I am pretty darn sure I have some bags that will look awesome with it. And then I love, love, love this ruffle top. And it's made out of the same fabric as those tanks were made out of, kind of a burnout looking fabric. But those are all made out of natural materials. There's no polyester. And the ones that I wore didn't get super wrinkly or look disheveled, I guess, by the end of the day. The next town we went to was Uray, Colorado. And it's known as the Switzerland of Colorado or of the Rockies. And the town is really cool, and there are some very neat things you can do. We didn't get to do everything, but there is a hot springs. There's actually a couple of them. We didn't do that. We ended up hiking up to Box Canyon, which is a true sight to be seen, and I'm going to have some footage that I show you now. And
I just pointed it out.
oh my gosh, how crazy. This is Box Canyon Falls in Uray, Colorado. And we also went to Cascade Falls, which I'll show you as I'm talking to you. It was a beautiful waterfall. Neither Box Canyon nor Cascade Falls were hard to get to. You did have to do a pretty steep vertical hike to get to Box Canyon, to the top of it. But if you are visiting and you can't do that sort of walk, you can see the lower part of it with very little physical exertion. And Cascade Falls is kind of a steeper walk, but not super steep and not super rocky in terms of the trail. When I was in Uray, I picked up this beautiful robe or kimono. And it's wrinkly too because I've been wearing it, but they said it was made to be as much like silk as it could be. And it is a full length robe. This is one I'm just going to have to try on for you because you really can't appreciate it without seeing it. But is that not the most gorgeous pattern? So the brand on that robe is Powder, and it's actually from Scotland. And so this little boutique that I found it in was called the Blue Pear, and they had some really cool things that they had sourced, including this particular robe. After we left Uray, we drove to Mesa Verde, and I can't show you the footage at Mesa Verde because with national parks, if you show the footage within your YouTube video, you cannot monetize it. And so I'm not going to put it in here. I can post a couple pictures on my community page if you want to check it out. When I was in Mesa Verde, I was really drawn to the pottery as well as the inlaid jewelry. And I looked at the inlaid jewelry, but didn't find anything that really stood out to me. I had seen a pendant that my mom has by a designer in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, called Dan Shelley. And so I was looking for something like what she had, and I just didn't find it while I was there. And so Dan Shelley is actually going out of business, and I will link his website down below. He's not going out of business, he's retiring. And so after I got back home, I communicated with him and ended up picking up this pendant. So even though it wasn't bought on vacation, it does have kind of a Native American feel or design, and I wanted to show it to you today. So it is a bear, and bears are very symbolic in Native American culture. It's supposed to help me have, I think, courage and help me heal. And on this side, it is very opal, and on this side, it has other stones, and I don't know the name of the stones. I think the brown one is jasper, but even the bail itself flips over. So if I take it off, I could have it be all opal, but as it is, I have the black and the jasper on the top, and I can flip it either direction. And I think that that side of the bale looks better with both of them. As I've moved around with this on, it has been flipping back and forth. So it's kind of fun because your look just changes without you even being aware of it. When we were in Mesa Verde, we stayed at a place called the Retro Inn, and oh boy, it was different. I'm going to put in some footage of our room right now. If you notice, it is very groovy. It was called the Groovy Room, and I think that it might have been designed by somebody who was on psychedelic mushrooms. There were 2 bedrooms, which was fantastic for us, but they had water beds in them, which is very unusual for a hotel motel situation. And I have to say, I was not there for it. I thought I would be good with it, but the waterbed was a no-go for me. Not the best sleeping experience, but the motel, I would highly recommend it. Just pick a different room. After we got done with our tour at Mesa Verde, we drove to Canyon City. It was about a 5-hour drive, which took a minute. And when we got there, we just went straight to bed. And the next morning we got up and we took a train ride through the Royal Gorge. And I'm going to put some footage of that in as I talk. It was a really cool ride. We ate breakfast on the train, and then we spent some time in the open air train car, and we got to really experience the Royal Gorge. The day we were there, it had rained and it was foggy as heck, and that made it really cool from down below. Now, I had also bought tickets to go out on the bridge and to do the gondola, which we went up to do afterwards, and you couldn't see more than a couple feet in front of you, so we ended up skipping that part and just heading home. So that's kind of a summary of my vacation in a nutshell. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring the notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. The name there's the same. It's the @ then the Handbag Housewife, all lowercase. You can DM me there, or you can email me at thehandbaghousewife@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye.